Good afternoon. How's everybody doing today? Welcome to Afternoon Chat. I'm your host, Ghost Mostly. It's, well, the lighting is improved, I guess, but I'm still not where I need to be. I'll keep working on it. Still, I got too much light on one side of my face and not enough on the other. I'll keep working at it. How are you today? What's on your mind today? What do you guys want to talk about? There's a lot going on. Jimmy Kimmel just got canceled or suspended or something. Yeah. Well, as much as these uh, politicians think they're getting rid of free speech, they're not. You want free speech? It's right here in this chat room. Jump in here. There's no charge. Okay. You can say anything you want within the community guidelines of YouTube. All right. Whatever you guys want to talk about is fine with me. Um, I I don't get enough views for Trump to even notice me, so don't worry. They're not coming after you for chatting in here. Okay. No. They we don't exist, so don't worry about that. Okay. Give us another 5 years, maybe we'll be noticeable by somebody, but it's not happening today. It's sad, but this is big business. It's my understanding that the media execs are trying to do another merger and they need government approval in order to get it passed. So they'll do whatever they got to do to keep the government on their good side or to keep themselves on the government's good side. It's all bunk. Well, our next president is going to change everything back. Okay. That's what they do. You know, it's like the House of Representatives, Democrats and Republicans, whoever's in power, they go overboard. When they're out of power, the pendulum swings back the other way. Look at it like an unbroken rubber band. You just keep pulling one side and the other side bounces it right back. It's ridiculous. They'll get their little merger approved and then, haul this through the courts for 3 or 4 years. And then we'll get a new president. And oh, yeah, well, we were only kidding about that. It's all bunk. They are still trying to distract from the whole Jeffrey Epstein debacle. And I don't know why we call it the Jeffrey Epstein debacle. I'm thinking we should change the name and call it what it is, the big, beautiful cover up. Well, that's what all the hassle's about. If they would just release the names, this all would. Right? They won't release the names. They're going to cover it up for, as long as they can. Well, they've had it covered up for what, 6 years already, and 2028 we'll get a new president sworn in 29. It's all absurd. All these guys that are think they're covering it up, and they're all going to get charged with crimes. Spoliation of evidence is pretty serious felony. And, they can't cover their tracks. There's too many paper trails in the United States of America. They've got paper trails on every single human being they can. Okay. It's all absurd. What you need to know is this big, beautiful cover up is all to save the ruling class from accountability. They're telling you that, they want you to think that we need the entire files, or we need grand jury transcripts, or we need eyewitness testimony. What do they call them? 320s or whatever. That's not what we need. That's not what we want. Jeffrey Epstein was grooming children, and he pimped them out. He was running women. And the information that we all want to know is who was paying the pimp. We want his financials. We want to know who was giving the man cash. Which of our government officials, which of our corporate CEOs were funneling money to the criminal? Who paid the crook? They are going to hide it and hide it and hide it. And the next president will come in, or the next Congress will come in, and, they'll start their, dog and pony show. No one's ever going to be held accountable. They're just going to let them go. They're going to let them get away with it, because to them, the people, we do not matter. Okay. They don't care. They don't care about us. They don't care what we think of. The only time they're interested in us at all is when they need us to go to the ballot box and to vote for them. Eventually, America will get tired of being used in this manner, and they'll put a stop to it. Well, it all boils down to about 2,000 people. I mean, you got 1,000 of the corporates that think it's okay to bribe the public officials to get what they want. And then you got another 1,000 that are the public officials that take the bribes and do their bidding, right? There's like 2,000 of them. And there are 340 million people plus in America. Eventually, we're going to get tired of them and we'll stop them. But until we do, we're stuck with it. As long as they can keep on dividing us, they'll never get us to unite. If we unite, we can boot them all out, throw them out. It wouldn't take a week. Seriously. There's not that many of them. Yeah, they got more money than God, but big deal. We've got the votes. They cannot survive. Their whole system falls apart once we refuse to participate. As long as we're willing to go along with the program, they're going to keep dishing it out. They're the ones that are enjoying the fine dining. We are getting served buffet leftovers. And evidently now you're not allowed to complain. So they want you to think. They want you to think that you can't complain. You can complain all you want. They're never going to pay attention to you, because how are they going to make money off of it? They can't make money off of it. They're not going to do it. They're all consumed by greed. So ignore them. Shut your TV off. Turn that channel off. Go stream something. Stream a sitcom. Have a laugh for a half an hour and don't worry about it. They're stealing and setting up new plans to steal next week. You know, that's all they care about. I think that it'd be real simple for the next president to straighten all this crap out. It wouldn't take him long at all. Well, we're what, 8 months into the Trump presidency, and he's already kicked out half the government. He's already got all these people kowtowing to him and rolling over. Thank you, sir. May I have another? God, it's absurd. You and I would not operate in such a manner ever. There's no possible way, right? But in corporate America, it's all make believe. It's like this whole Bitcoin scam that they're pulling, right? We're the billionaires. Well, if we say it's real, it's real. Yeah, it's not real. If it is, give me a cup of Bitcoin. Pour me a pound. All right, just a quarter ounce then. Give me a quarter ounce of Bitcoin. No, it's not real. It's pretend, right? That they found out they could do that when they took America off the gold standard. We used to have gold to represent our dollars. Now we have us. We say those dollars are real, so they are. And eventually someone's going to come in and say, those dollars aren't real. These dollars are. Oh, you can't go with the greenbacks. You got to try our orange backs. Yeah, just take your dollar bill and put some tanner on it, some artificial suntan lotion or bronzer or whatever you want to call that crap, right? That's how absurd all this is, right? Don't let it stress you out. Turn that fake news off, right? You don't need it, right? It's all bunk. Don't believe anything they tell you. Believe what you see with your own two eyes. What do I see? I see a bunch of rich guys going around stealing money. They're full of greedy actions in order to fulfill their need for greed. It's not real. It's not tangible, right? You put the 2,000 of them in jail, and what do we got? We got what we're supposed to have. 339 million and change of us that are still looking for leadership, still looking for honest representation, still looking for change for the good. Every one of them knows what we need. What we truly need in this country is health care at an affordable price. That's it. We don't need any of their other malarkey. We don't need their culture wars. We don't need any of that crap. Does a culture war help you build a house? No. Does it help you repair your car? No. Okay. It's not necessary. Excuse me. No, don't let all their greed influence your life in a negative fashion. they're stealing so many millions of dollars right now. And the reason you know they're stealing millions of dollars is because we're all poor. If you had money in your pocket to spend, they're not getting rich. They're not doing the grift that they were setting out to do, right? When you and I have a buck in our pocket, they're in dire straits trying to figure out their next con, their next scam. Every time they come up with a new scam, just click the TV off. Don't listen to it. Ignore them. Stop giving them money. They'll notice that. If an election cycle rolls around and nobody donates except the billionaires, what's going to happen? It's all going to grind to a stop. The billionaires, they got to see return on their investment. Okay. If they don't see a return on investment, they're going to stop investing. That's how greed works. And I'm still drinking Dr. Pepper. I haven't gotten to my Gatorade yet. I'm running late. You know, I was kind of jumbled today. The routine was kind of tossed out the window. You know, those days come and they go. You know, we get back in and we roll with the punches. That's part of being a survivor in 2025. Is you got to pick yourself up and get going again. Look for your routine or make a new routine, but you know. I think all human beings survive on a routine in one way or another. And I did a little bit better with the lighting today. I can see a minute piece of progress. You may not see it yet, but I'll get there. Okay. I'm going to keep working on it. This is going to be a good show eventually. YouTube is going to sort all this stuff out. Okay. It's what they do. I'm just one guy. And I don't have an algorithm. Okay. YouTube has got the algorithm. They'll analyze this program. They'll sort it out. And eventually they will put us in front of the people that will sign into the chat and they will interact with us. It's just going to be a matter of time till they figure out what's going on. Well, part of the delay is me. I'm not willing to stack the chat. Okay. I could tell all my friends and family, get in this chat room and make it look like it's up and running and functional, you know, but I'm not doing that. I don't want to skew or influence YouTube. I want to let YouTube do what YouTube does. After YouTube figures us out and puts us in front of the appropriate people, then I'll tell my friends and family, hey, you should jump in the chat. We're having a good time over here. You know, I'm not going to sweat it. We got years. Okay. I'm not going anywhere. It costs me $13.99 a month to put this show out here. And I know that people are going to chat. We've had a few stragglers in here already. It's just that right now, YouTube doesn't know who to market us to. They'll figure it out. Okay. You just got to be patient. I did look up my analytics briefly this morning. I mean, I didn't get into anything in depth, but I looked at it. I got 6 subscribers now. We're flying. We're racing to 1,000. And what viewing hours? I think I'm at like 38 viewing hours. Well, I'm only posting 10 a week, right? 10 hours a week. When you need 4,000 viewing hours, it's going to take a long time and until you get multiple people watching every day, you know. I'm not going to sweat it. It'll all work out in the wash. Um, yeah, I think the chat's functional. I've got it set on live chat. Um, I think I think it's all there. I've got my controls right here. I can see everything appears to be functioning. Yeah, I'm happy that it's now running smooth and I'm not having the connectivity issues and all that garbage. I'm a little excited for tonight, Thursday night football. I get to watch something other than myself. Well, I'm spending a lot of time, a lot more time staring at myself than I did previously. I didn't, you know, this is like looking into a mirror. I'm facing the camera, right? And yeah, it's like looking into a mirror for me. Well, once the chat gets populated, there'll be people in here, and I'll have their verbiage to read, and it'll all start coming together at that point. But in the meantime, I'm kind of enjoying it. I don't have to work hard. I just get to sit here and yak at my computer. And I can talk about anything I want to talk about any day I want to talk about it. So it's yeah, I've never had this kind of power in my life. I can put anything I want on TV. I just don't know what I want. Well, I don't know what I want to put on TV. Okay. I know what I want. I want good food, great conversations, good people, happiness in my life, joy. I want to sit back and see the success of my children and watch them reap the benefits of their education and their upbringing. You know, the same stuff that we all want. Some things don't change. Okay, people are all basically the same. We're unique at the same time, don't get me wrong, but we're all basically the same. And I think it once the people realize that our news media outlets have uh, been brainwashing us and convincing us that it's all crooks and criminals. Um, it's not. And there are a lot of good people out there. I meet them all the time. You know, I understand that there are some issues with what the media is showing us, but I think the issue, what it boils down to, is what are we willing to watch? What do we want to watch? I mean, I like the action movies and all that as much as the next guy. I like to see the latest CGI and special effects and all this crud, But you know, if I go to watch a John Wick movie, I already know he's got to kill 200 people because he only killed 175 in his last film. You know what I mean? So he's got to kill more in this film. But in real life, there is no John Wick. Okay, um, that's not reality. I know all these people been watching all these space shows, and they think that Star Wars or Star Trek. They think all this stuff is possible. Or they think it's a precursor to the real thing being invented down the road. You know, it's absurd. The truth is, human beings can't live in space with the technology that we have now. Um, if they send a guy up to the space station for a year, he comes back home 2 inches shorter than he was before he left. Mankind's not meant to be without our atmosphere, without our gravity. Okay. We're always going to be on Earth. I'm not going to say that they can't go and put some poor guy on the moon for a year. Okay. Because they can, right? If they want to take enough of our tax dollars and piss them away needlessly, they can do that, But for, realistic, we're not going to live in space. Space travel is beyond us. It takes us so long to get from one point in space to the next that it's just absurd to think that it's going to work. Well, that's like for a Florida resident to walk out his front door and he says, well, I'm walking to Canada today. No, you're not. You can head that direction, but you ain't going to get there. Not in one day. Not at the speeds that we travel. Oh, you can fly to Canada. Yeah. Well, it's not as easy as you think, right? I think they said it would take months to get to Mars. Literally months. That's absurd. If you're going to send somebody out in space for 20 years, they're going to die out there alone. It's not a reality yet. Maybe in 100 years, it'll be a reality, but we're not even close to being there now. But people have a tendency to cloud their judgment. They don't realize the difference between life and reality. If you look at TV, it's okay to go out and punch somebody. If you try it, you're going to go to jail. They're going to charge you with assault. Okay. You can't just walk out and punch somebody. You see it on TV every day, but that don't make it real, right? People, they get caught up in their own little world and they don't realize that, the reality of their line of thinking. Their perspective gets draped in a masquerade of some type. It's not real. The violence you see on TV, you can't do on other people. It's not legal. If you do that, you're going to go to jail. Yeah, it's not realistic. I was watching YouTube shorts. I was seeing road ragers today, What a bunch of idiots. One car stops. The guy picks up a tire, gets out of his vehicle, picks up a tire iron, and he walks over to the other car like he's going to do something. At that point, he's that far from spending the night in jail. Okay. He stopped in the middle of the traffic lane, got a tire iron, and walked at the other vehicle in a threatening manner. Ta-da. Yo, dumbass. You're about to go to jail. Stop acting a fool. Put the tire iron back in the trunk. Get in your car and try to obey the traffic laws and get along in our society. If you don't, it's going to cost you money and time. Okay. You're not going to solve anything by picking up that tire iron and approaching that other car. In America, you're darn likely to get shot. The guy you're approaching's probably got a gun. That's how stupid you are. You took a tire iron to a gunfight. Duh. Yeah. Control your temper. Cut your neighbor some slack. Give him some leeway. Leave him alone. Okay. Some of these things, they're just absurd. All the Karenicity that's alive and doing well on a daily basis, it makes no sense. To me, well, I was a lot more hot-headed when I was young. Now that I'm older, I know. I know better. Okay. I learned as many lessons as I could on the way up to where I am today. You know, it's almost red again. I don't know. It's real close to being red hair, but I don't have red hair. It's the lighting. I'll work on it. Tomorrow's Friday. I'll do some more again tomorrow. In case you just tuned in, the show is called Afternoon Chat. I'm your host, Ghost Mostly. I'm here Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is an open chat room. You can get in and we can discuss anything that you want to discuss. The only real rule here is please follow the community guidelines set up by YouTube. You won't find me on any other platforms, no other, no social media outlets, none of that stuff. No. I'm not stalking you. Okay. I'm presenting the show, but I don't consider myself to be the star. I'm just a placeholder until you guys get here. When you guys get here, you guys will be the stars of the show. It's your opinions that we're going to voice. It's your opinions that we're going to poll. It's your opinions that hopefully will coax out of you and get you to share with the rest of the world. Everyone has a right to speak their mind. Everyone has a right to have their say. That's why I created this show, is to give you your voice. Well, actually, my voice in place of yours. Well, I can control what I read, but I can't control what you say, right? Well, I got to keep from getting sued. This is 2025 in America. They sue everybody for anything. They sue people for not doing anything at all. So the hardest part about this show is just coming up with the plan and getting everything to physically work. Yeah, evidently our Wi-Fi is not all that it's representing to be. My proof for that is my connectivity issues. If our Wi-Fi is so good, why did I have to hardwire my computer to my router? I shouldn't have to do that if Wi-Fi is what it's supposed to be. But it was not. It failed dramatically. Look back at the last 4 weeks of afternoon chat, and you can see what I mean. I thought about deleting those shows, to be honest with you. But it makes no sense at this point because I need the viewing hours. So I'm just going to leave them up for the time being. I'll make that decision after I hit the thresholds that YouTube is set up for my channel to make. Hopefully, we'll get there sooner than later, but it's no rush. When I don't know, decided to do the show, I told myself, well, I got to give it a fair shot. I can't, just try it for a week. Oh, this didn't work. No, I think a fair shot was 3 years. So that's what I told myself I'm going to do it for, is for 3 years. People will get in the chat eventually. Right now, YouTube doesn't know who to present us to, so I don't think they're presenting us to anyone. Okay? But they'll figure it out eventually. What I have to do is become stable and reliable and dependable. If I'm filling this time slot for them 5 days a week, 2 hours a day, eventually their algorithm will recognize that. And they'll say, who should we show this guy's live stream to? Well, I think they should probably show it to the people that like to chat. If you want to chat, you have to go to YouTube and download their Discord app. It's free. And then, enable the chat on your television so that you can see it as it scrolls. And then jump in here and voice your opinions. I'd love to hear them. If not, it could be a long 3 years and you guys could end up knowing me really well. I apologize. But until I get people in the chat, the only opinions you're going to be able to hear are mine. And I don't know. Maybe I'm a little out there. Maybe I'm a lot out there. I don't know. I like to consider myself normal or mainstream normal, for an old guy. Yeah, I smoke cigarettes. Too many of them. Well, it cuts down on my marijuana usage. I am not recommending you smoke cigarettes or marijuana. I consider both to be my bad habits. And I don't recommend them to anyone. The hardest part about sitting here and smoking in front of you guys is not to be chain smoking. Ordinarily, I think I smoke about, maybe 3 cigarettes an hour. I don't know if that's increasing now that I'm online. Well, I can't get up and do anything if I'm on here for the show, in real life, I'm busy, I'm doing something, so I can't smoke. You know what I mean? But, you know, I got most of my other bad habits under control. I've been working on it. I'll probably have a beer tonight, though. Well, Monday night or Thursday night football. I got to wait until Monday night for my Lions to play. So, I'm jonesing right now and counting down the days. I think the Baltimore Ravens are going to have their hands full on Monday night. Personal opinion. But, I think that my team's better than everybody else's too. Doesn't mean I'm wrong, but it don't make me right either. I know, it's the same cigarette. I get to yakking and I don't smoke it, and then the dang thing goes out. I'm not lighting a fresh one, I'm lighting the same one, right? Well, I try to cup my hands so that the flash doesn't screw up with the camera. You know what I mean? I'm trying not to burn your corneas out. It'd be like looking at a welder's mask, wouldn't it? Or looking at a welder without the mask. I mean, it'd be too bright. But I don't know what the heck I'm doing, so, take that with a grain of salt. I'm just a strange guy sitting on his couch talking to his computer. What's so odd about that? Yeah, what did I say? I think it was like 38 hours and change or something like that I have in viewing time. I don't know, you know, I don't know who's watching it. I mean, it tells me the number of viewers, but it doesn't tell me who or where. It's like it tells me that I've got six subscribers now, but it doesn't tell me who they are. Well, I don't know. It might somewhere in all that gobbledygook, but I'm not stalking you guys, so I'm not gonna track you down and see who you are. I don't, you know, I'm not a stalker. What can I tell you? I don't know how to do all that crap. It's like I don't know how to hack. Even if I did, it's illegal, so I wouldn't do it. It would never enter my mind. I don't sit around and think up crimes to do. That'd be absurd. I don't think any American sits around thinking about crimes to do. I think most of the crime we have in America is probably, you could probably categorize some of it under drugs or alcohol influence. And you could probably categorize some of it as emotional response, be that anger or sadness or insecurities or, just as a gross generalization, and then you can probably find a couple other reasons. But, for the most part, I don't think it's premeditated crime. I think the premeditated criminal is the outlier. He's the one that's not normal. I don't think the premeditated crime is a normal thing. At least it shouldn't be. Yeah, so I'm in Michigan. I don't know where you guys are at, But I understand that, there are different time zones around the globe. And I'm sorry if this show's on at 3 o'clock in the morning where you live. Here in where I live, it's from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, I know the beard's getting long now. I was thinking about trimming it, taking a little off the bottom, you know. Well, the funny thing is, it touches my chest now, and sometimes I freak myself out with that. I know. Well, when you're old like me, the little things in life are where you find your joy. So I find a little joy in freaking myself out once in a while. I was walking in the park the other day, and I looked over my shoulder. I had this giant spider sitting right on my shoulder. I was like, "You got 8 legs, but you got to rely on my two to get around? That's stupid." So I knocked him off. I didn't kill him. I just flicked him off. He was fine. He walked away under his own legs. I don't know how he got on me. I was walking, you know. But yeah, that sucker was big. I'm talking, 50-cent piece at least, you know. Bigger than a quarter. I'm talking at least a 50-cent piece. I don't know what type it was. It was, looked like a spider. They all look kind of mean, you know. I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen a friendly looking spider, so I don't know what to tell you on that. I don't even know why he was on my shoulder, you know. I guess he just wanted to ride to the other side of the park or something. But it's the little things in life that I try to find joy out of. It makes me laugh. I got used to meeting a lot of people in my most of my adult life. I lived and worked in Vegas in table games industry, um, craps, blackjack, roulette, that stuff. Taking and paying the winners and the losers. But I got used to meeting people, and hopefully we'll get that going again here in this chat room someday. I liked meeting people from different parts of the world, especially other countries. I like to talk to them, learn about them, what they were into, what they do on their normal day-to-day lives. Well, people are all basically the same, you know, but you know, I wanted to, talk to an Italian and say, when you go out to dinner, are you going out for Italian food or are you going out for Chinese or American? I needed to know this stuff. My need to know level gets really high sometimes. I want to know, you know. Once we get this chat up and running, I'm expecting to be able to come in here and learn new things every day. I'm downright excited about it. I want to learn, you know. Was talking to a guy last week in here, and he was in London, England, and he was standing in his garden, and I asked him what was ripe. He told me turnips and strawberries, and I'm like, well, I love strawberries. Well, turnips are, iffy to me. Okay. They're not in my everyday diet, where strawberries could be. Well, I think everybody I think it's normal to like things that are sweet, sweet tasting, you know. Hopefully, couple of more weeks, we'll get some people in here to talk to, and you guys can stop learning so dang much about me and start learning about other people, other places, other things. I don't know why it's taken YouTube this long. It might be my fault because I had so many connectivity issues. They might have just filed me away in the back 40 and said, we'll deal with this guy down the road. Who knows, right? I'm not going to sweat it. Eventually, they'll do something with me or they'll kick me off. One of the two, you know. But as long as I'm paying the money, I don't think they're going to kick me off. Well, unless I start saying, derogatory things or something, but I'm not really derogatory. I could be if that would get me, a lot of views and a lot of subscribers. But just off the top of my head, I doubt that that's the answer that I'm looking for, But yeah, we have viewers every day. I have no idea who, but some people are watching. So bless them. I'm glad. Tell your friends and, do the whole, rigmarole, like, subscribe, share, whatever it is, I'm not going to get on Snapchat or Instagram or TikTok or any Blue Sky. No, thank you. Don't want nothing to do with those other platforms. This is the only one I care for. But whatever you guys want to talk about is cool with me. There's a lot of things I don't know a whole bunch about, but I'm willing to learn. I got a neighbor that she works for the water company, so I believe she's got some type of chemistry background, but she studies insects, and I find that real interesting. Well, I go over to her place and I see insects doing all kinds of crap that I wouldn't normally see without her pointing it out and saying, "Hey, look at this." It's interesting. I like to learn things. I don't know why. I've just always been that way. Isn't everybody? Aren't we all curious to a certain extent? Yeah, I'm trying to sit a little bit lower so that the reflection in my glasses can disappear. But right here, this gets old because my head's leaning forward. You know what I mean? But I'm working on the height adjustment to try it because I've got a space at the bottom where there's no reflection. I'll keep thinking with it. I'll keep thinking with the lighting until I get it somewhere where I'm satisfied. But I'm thinking of changing the rest of the set. I was thinking I could go out front, sit outside. Well, it's fine now in the summer and the fall, but it wouldn't be cool in the winter. Well, that'd be the problem in the winter. It'd be too cool. you know, I don't want to freeze. I guess I could dress up in a snowsuit and you know But then, I'd wear a big, thick, heavy hat, and you wouldn't be able to see all my hair as it's turning red. You know. I was thinking about dyeing my mustache. Tell me what you think. Do you think I should put a little dye in there or something, or just to make the gray go away? I'm not going to do all of this. No. If I was going to dye all of that gray, no. I'd I'd shave it off first. I think. I don't know. Well, I grew it for this show. I don't know why. I thought, well, I never wore a beard. I used to wear a mustache when I was in Vegas. My hair, I wore short hair in a pompadour most of the time, clean shaven. But for a few years there, I wore a mustache. But it was a brown mustache back in the day. Not this salt and pepper crapola. But what I was hoping was, grow the beard for 3 straight years, see how long I could get that sucker, and then have, the video record of it on YouTube. Watch me grow my beard, time lapse. Well, if you don't like the way I'm falling down these rabbit holes, you should jump in the chat and tell me to shut up. Talk to me. Talk to me, baby. Let me hear from you. No, I horse around and sometimes I get myself fired up, Well, it matters to me. I see what's going on in the world, I don't think that the president of the United States should be influencing universities and media outlets and deciding what should be and should not be on television. I don't think it's any of his dang business. I think it's just proof of the fact he has nothing better to do. He's trying to micromanage the entire planet, and somebody should get the man something to do, or get him a tea time. He seems to like to prioritize his golf, so get him a tea time. Get him 7 of them a day. Teach him a lesson. Well, 7 of them a week then. If he was out on a golf course, he can't be screwing around with us. So, And the whole live and let live paradigm jumps to my mind. Why can't he just leave Stephen Colbert and Jimmy Kimmel alone? Duh. Oh, because they don't leave him. They're comedians. Okay. They're not politicians. They're comedians. They're trying to be entertaining. Yeah. Wow, he's such a little snowflake. He's going to melt. My personal opinion, he's a buffoon. He may be our president, but he's acting like a buffoon. All this crap he's doing. Yeah, I'd make a horrible king. Okay, I really would. As I wouldn't want to go for a stagecoach ride and try to read some speech to a king, to an actual king. No thanks. No, that's not me. I'd be myself, but I'm not trying to be famous. I don't want to be a household name. I wouldn't mind if Ghost Mostly Media ended up being successful someday, but I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna fret about it. This live and let live is what I'm thinking I need to put into the end the final 10 minutes of the show. When I try to wind things down, I think I need to focus on the live and let live. Allow people to be themselves. Let them do whatever they want to do. It's none of my business what church you go to. It's none of my business who you hang out with. It's none of my business if you own a gun or never owned a gun. It's not up to me to sit in judgment over you. It's not up for me to pick and choose for you. If you live and let live, who cares? How about I just take care of me, you take care of you. And when we can meet and have common ground, let's work together. Let's sit down and break bread together. But, just because I do that with you, don't mean you got a right to tell me I have to cut my hair or I have to shave my beard or, screw that. Now, the hardest part about being an American now is that you have to exercise self-censorship. You have to shut some of these people out to your life because they're just too negative. If you allow all this negativity in your life on a daily basis, it's bad for your health. I honestly believe that. Stress is killing everybody all over the planet. Don't let it kill you. You have to control everything in your life, but your life. You don't have to control everyone else's life. If the other people are all wanting to do one thing and you want to do something else, so be it. You can't let that, I don't know, keeping up with the Joneses get so overboard that you think you got to control the Joneses. Leave the Joneses alone. If they want to do something that you're not into, big deal. Well, some of it's fear of missing out. Some of it's jealousy. Some of it is, successful people trying to pull the ladder up behind them. They don't want anyone else to be able to become successful. Isn't that what all these non-compete agreements are about? Oh, you can't be successful. My Gatorade. I'm getting my electrolytes. I finally caught up with the normal routine. I'm only running an hour and 3 minutes behind. Well, I'm human. No, what it was I slept late this morning. And I slept late this morning because I stayed up late last night. I stayed up late last night because I wanted to. What else can I tell you? Generally speaking, if my routine's blown out of the water, it's me that's blown it out of the water. It's my fault. Okay, I've influenced it in some other way. I don't allow other people to influence my routine. It's mine. You influence your own routines. I don't try to influence your routine. Well, I say that, but I'm trying to create a show and become a part of your routine. I'd like you to routinely get in and chat and be a part of this show. So please adjust your routine and let me in. I guess. Well, it is what it is, right? Back in the day, I used to chat on my computer all the dang time. And it was fun. It was interesting. But, back then we didn't have it all structured. Now all the chat that I see is structured. Oh, you can only talk about sports, or you can only talk about entertainment news, or you can only talk about world news. I don't want all that structure. I want to see what people want to talk about, and let's talk about what you guys want to talk about. Eventually, this chat room will be populated, and I expect us to, cover any number of subjects in a given day. And we could have, in 2 hours' time, I'm thinking we could be talking 20 different topics, 30 different topics in a single day. The more interesting thing to me would be to find out what topics do we end up talking about day in and day out. What is going to be the number one interest in discussing. And I'm looking forward to polling the chat and seeing what people are finding more compelling to discuss. The only things I bring up to you guys are the things I know about, or they've been on my mind, or they've crossed my mind in some way or something. I don't know what is the number one topic to people. I mean, you see these polls that they advertise, but those pollsters are paid by the media companies. So is there a conflict of interest in there? That's why I'm looking forward to being able to do our own polls in this chat room. We'll be able to find out. And I won't be trying to put my thumb on the scale one way or the other. I'm going to be trying to be holding myself in a neutral position. I understand that it's human behavior to lash out, but I don't think the chat is going to be all people lashing out. I think part of the chat, a large part of it, is going to be people looking for solutions, looking for answers. I think we all have questions, but I think that as a community, we'll be able to pull together and we'll be able to give ourselves some answers. I hope we can live with those answers, but I don't know why the greed is so prevalent. I don't think it really ties to capitalism or corporatism. I'm thinking it might be even deeper related. I think it might be our competitive nature. But I really don't know. It'll be interesting to see. Once we populate the chat, it'll be interesting to see what the chat does with the show. I mean, well, nothing is set in stone with me. So what I'm calling afternoon chat could end up being evening chat. It could end up being morning chat. I don't know. It's going to depend on our audience, on our participants, on what they want. I'm going to allow the channel to morph and give the chat what they want. I plan on just being a ghost. I'm like a placeholder. I'm keeping the room for you guys. I have no real dog in this hunt. You know what I'm saying? I'm not selling you nothing. I'm not pitching you anything. I'm not trying to manipulate you. I'm not trying to coerce anyone. I'm not coming out with a line of swag. I'm coming out with my own line of merch. No t-shirts, no hats. No, thank you. I'm not trying to sell you anything. The stuff I'm asking for is the like and subscribe stuff, the view stuff that YouTube is asking me for, right? They set these goals for me. I did not set these goals for myself. My goals are totally different than YouTube's. I look at YouTube as a tool. I'm using this tool so that I can meet and talk to people from around the globe. That's the void in my life. I used to do that for 30 plus years in Vegas, as I got to meet people every week from different areas of the planet. And I got to talk to them and find out what was important to them and what was on their mind and what they wanted to discuss was a part of that. And if I get this channel successful, I'll be fulfilling that vacant spot in my life that I wanted to fulfill. And I'll be doing it 5 days a week, 2 hours a day, right? I think that'll make me pretty happy. I think that'll make me a pretty joyful person, okay? If I'm getting everything that I wanted, right? I think that everyone has the right to speak their piece, to have their opinion voiced. And I think I have an unusual voice. And I think, maybe it'll become a symbiotic relationship of some sort. I'm not going to run out of patience. I'm not going to stop broadcasting. That decision I've set up for 3 years from now. In 2028, I'll make that decision. Do I keep going with this, or do I let this put this to rest and move on to something else? I've always had a side hustle. I've always had something going on in my life. This is actually the quietest that my life has ever been. It's kind of nice, kind of peaceful and relaxing. I'm not in the hustle and bustle. I'm not constantly on the go. It's the exact opposite. I have to really motivate myself to get out there. Okay. I've created a nice, peaceful environment for myself. And anytime I want, I can just turn on my PS4 and zone out from everybody. Or I could do the PS3. I still have both. I'm not buying a PS5. I drew a line. I'm done. Okay. I got enough games and enough game systems to last me for the next 20 years. I don't need to buy anymore. I'll let everybody else run out and buy the PS17. I mean, that's how far they're going to go, right? They're just going to keep on going, right? I'm interested in finding out what's going on in different parts of the country. Um, I want to know. I'm curious. There's certain things that I can think of and I can research, I can look up online, but you might get into the chat room and bring up something that I would have never thought to research, that I would have never, it would have never crossed my mind, right? So I'm excited to get your guys' input to find out what you want to talk about. What do you want to explore together? You know, I think it's going to be interesting. But yeah, I definitely see a minor improvement in my lighting issues. I don't think I'm there yet, but I did see a minor improvement, and I think I can expound on that probably tomorrow. Now, I'm hoping tomorrow. But if not, I'll get it next week. We're up and running. We're here. Ghost Mostly Media LLC isn't going anywhere. I was dinking around this morning. I slept in. Well, I'm allowed. I'm semi-retired. You know, you guys are the ones that got to get up and go to work every day, not me. I did my time. I did that for many, many years. I got a lot of things on my mind, things that I'd like to talk about, and I'm not interested in being the one to bring them all up. If you guys bring them up, it saves me the trouble. To me, the hardest part about doing this show is when I have people in the chat, I'm not going to want to sign off. I'm going to want to stay on. And, you know, it's going to be hard for me to control myself and keep the show to 2 hours. But if it goes too long, then I think it just becomes too much of a distraction. Once the chat is populated, I'm not talking about now. I don't think it's any kind of a distraction now. It's like, I don't know. It's like holding a roast and nobody shows up. Hopefully, things will speed up next week. But if they don't sweat it. I won't lose any patience. We'll keep getting views, and the subscribers will keep coming in. It'll increase. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm not messing around with that mute button today. I got other things on my mind. If there were people in here, it might matter. You know what I mean? But there's nobody in here right now. So, you know, why should I scramble and hit the mute because I got a cough? Well, I guess it would be a little more professional. You're probably right there, but yeah, I'm not sweating it until we got people in here. I'm working on other things. You know, I'm cleaning up my language, trying not to go down to too controversial of a rabbit hole. I have thought, you know, I have thought that I could do other things with the show, you know, but I have no interest in using AI in any way, shape, or form. Well, realistically, I could put AI in the chat, right? I got a whole, you know, plethora of possibilities, but I'm not going to do any of them. I've created what I meant to create, and now we'll see if it gets populated and takes off. A year from now, if there's still nobody in the chat, I might consider making a change. I might consider doing something else. But for right now, I'm all right. I'm patient. It's only been a month. Well, tomorrow will be a month. 4 weeks, 10 hours a week, right? Um, my shorter videos were getting more views. I did notice that while it was in the analytics today. Well, when I was having the issues and trying to live stream and getting kicked off in like 30 minutes, those shorter videos got a lot more views than the longer ones. Well, I'm not sure why. Maybe 2 hours is too long for a chat show. I don't know. We'll find out eventually. Okay. But it doesn't matter to me how many views I get personally when it's just me in here. That's, you know, I'm caring about the number of views that a populated chat room gets. All right. That'll interest me a lot more than how many views I'm getting when it's just me sitting here. But yeah, we'll find out eventually all the numbers. It'll all come out in a wash. But yeah, there was umpteen pages of those analytics and stuff, but I glanced at the first page, like 3 different sections, and then I moved on. Well, to be honest, I was multitasking at the time. I had a bunch of other crap going on, so it was. I clicked into the analytics, basically because I didn't want to click into what I had opened it up to click into. I opened it up. I was going to go into a show that I watch prior to streaming called TMZ Live. So I was going to go in there and offer up a chat or two myself. But then once I got the page open, I saw the button. It said right there. It said analytics, and I'm like, "Well, let's check that out." So I clicked that instead of going into the TMZ thingy. I like to click the different buttons, and I get click happy sometimes. I don't know what to tell you. It's just weird, but some days I'm a little more inquisitive. But I saw that the subscribers was up to 6 and the viewing hours was up to 38. And, I was like doing the math on that. And I'm saying, well, that's like 6 hours per person. And I'm like, no, that's the wrong way to break it down. So, yeah, I'll maybe over this weekend, I'll get in there and dink around a little bit and, you know, peek around a couple of corners, see what I can find that's interesting. But for right now, I got better things to do, or not necessarily better things. I got other things to do. Hopefully, the analytics will improve, and YouTube will figure out what to do with us next week, and we'll, you know, be presented in front of people, and people will jump in here. Hopefully, I'm not going to hold my breath, but hopefully, it is what it is. It's going to take a while. Well, just the volume of things that are available to be watched on just YouTube alone, it's astounding. There's so many things that you can look at. I flip through them occasionally, page after page after page, and I'm like, wow. I don't need to buy all the other television sites because there's so much to watch on YouTube that it's basically the only thing I watch unless I'm tuning into a specific like football game or something. I don't really have a show or shows that I watch. Like back in the day, you used to always go and watch the same shows every week, and whatnot, but you don't have to do that now. So I can't say, oh, it's Thursday night at 8 o'clock. I got a show I got to watch. That's my show. Well, and tonight it's Monday Night Football I'm going to watch. But, I'm saying that it's not like it used to be. I think it's improved. Excuse me. I like it better this newer way. I love streaming. Well, Crumbelina and we streamed. What was that show? Wednesday on Netflix. I think we watched all of season 1 in like 3, maybe 4 days. I like streaming. It's cool. You can catch up on a hurry. Matter of fact, I'm getting ready to stream Andor. The show's got my attention. I've tuned into a couple of different episodes, and it looks good. I know that it's sci-fi and not real, and that's what it is to me, is escapism. I can get into this. But it just, the way that it's written, something tells me, sit up and take notice of this. This is interesting. I haven't seen enough of it to analyze it and say, well, this is why I want to watch it. You know what I mean? But I saw different characters and I saw the way they were interacting, and I saw some plot line where there's some amount of danger and there's some amount of adventure, and I didn't see a whole lot of gore. You know, I refuse to watch the gore. Yeah, I don't do that anymore. No thanks. Once you've seen the first 17 guys get beheaded with a sword, the next 17 aren't as impressive. It's at some point all of their storylines that you see appear to be a rerun, even if you haven't seen that particular show, right? It's like, well, go to one of the old westerns, like Gunsmoke, right? Look at the gunfights in episode 1 or episode 2, and then go to season 20 and look at a couple of the gunfights, and you're like, this is the same thing, guys. For 20 plus years, they just kept giving it the same thing, and yeah, it got boring. Compared to that, I prefer the nature show. I prefer to walk outside. Nature is never a rerun. Actually, there's a show I have been watching. Well, besides this one, I watch this one so I can critique what the heck I'm doing, you know. And well, I've had some language issues. I was in front of the public for many, many years, and I never had any language issues. Then I had a few years off from dealing with the public, and then I get on, I create this show, and I get on, and then I'm trying to talk to people, and I'm dropping F-bombs. That's not what I want to do. Okay. So I'm having to critique and correct myself. And I'm also making like lighting comparisons. I know what I did to change the lighting on this day versus what I did to change the lighting on that day. And well, like today, I can see my hair looks brown on this side, and over here it looks kind of red. It's my imbalanced lighting. I will balance it at some point. Well, the easier way would be to turn my whole living room the other direction. But I'm not going to do that. So I'll get the lighting issue straightened out eventually. I swear, you know. It's not that bad. You can see both sides of my face. You can tell I'm not AI. Look at it this way: if I did everything perfectly and I never made any mistakes, and this was all some lavish, expensive production, just think how much crap I'd have to try to sell you. No thanks. One of my guys that I watch for my Lions football, Mike Kimber, he's cracking me up. All right, he just took on a new client for paid advertisement. I'll tell you, it's Omaha Steaks. And I'm not knocking Omaha steaks at all. I really am not, you know. But I think it's real interesting that I'm watching Mike do these commercials. Okay. When I know he doesn't want to be doing commercials, he wants to talk Lions football. You can see it in his eyes while he's doing the commercial. He's doing his job. Don't get me wrong. Okay. And he's giving it a, I mean, his pitch is smooth, his tone is right, and he's doing a fine job with his commercials. Okay. But he wants to be talking sports only. You can see it in his eyes. But, you know, he's got kids at home yet. He has to make a living. You know, I'm not begrudging a man that has to make a living. I did that for many, many, many years. Okay. I'm at a different point in my life. I don't, you know, it's actually, you know, not like that for me. My kids make twice as much money as I used to make. They don't need things from me like they did when uh, I was young. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm not going to tell you my age. It's none of your business. Okay. Hey, I'm old enough to get myself in trouble whenever I need to. And I'm old enough to get myself out of trouble whenever I need to. That's all you need to know. Yeah, I can get in and out of trouble all on my own. It's amazing how that works. I'm not asking you your age. All right. Let's keep it 100 here. I'm not asking you your age. Speaking of age, Martha Ford, the owner of the Lions football team, just turned 100 2 days ago. Living to 100, that's impressive. All right. That's real impressive. Not everyone can do that. All right. A special woman. And she spoke to the team in the locker room after the win. And she's still sharp. Okay. She's still sharp. I was impressed. Okay. I can only hope and pray that when I'm 100, I could be that sharp. I don't think it's gonna. Well, I'm a smoker. Let's keep it real. Okay. Odds on me getting to on. Yeah, if you were in Vegas and you were putting odds on that, is Ghost mostly going to make it to 100? I'd put the yeah, I'd probably be willing to bet maybe 5 to 1. No. Okay, 5 to 1. That I think not. Not when I smoke cigarettes. Well, I've been smoking, and I'm not trying to defend it or anything, but I've been smoking for in excess of 50 years. All right. So if I have to rush out and quit tomorrow, it's too late. Okay. It's just too late. No, I actually did quit smoking at one point in my life, but you know, it's kind of a personal story. But I'll tell you, you know, I had quit for 5 months, and I put on about 20 pounds. It sat right in the belly, right in my gut. And I was out in a bar one evening having a drink. I went into the restroom. I looked down and I couldn't see my junk. And I went out of the restroom and walked up to a cigarette machine and never looked back. I know it's very shallow of me. I understand completely. And it's a stupid reason to smoke. I could have went and joined a gym, got rid of that belly, you know. But I wanted to take the easy way out. I'm a weak man. What can I tell you? I I smoke because I choose to smoke. I do not recommend that for anyone ever. Okay. I'll smoke your share of cigarettes so you don't have to feel like you're required to. Evidently, that's become my lot in life. Okay. Yeah. Smooth. Just knocked ashes on myself. Don't try this at home. I'm a trained professional. Hopefully, the chat's going to populate next week and you won't have to get to know all these strange little stories about me. Hopefully, they'll never come up. Once the chat is populated, I'm just going to kind of fade into the background. Okay. I'll be an actual ghost. Am I really here or am I not? You know, it's going to be hard to tell. But for right now, you got to put up with me. Unless you want to get in and take over the show, jump in the chat room and start laying down the law. Put the fist on the table, you know. It's going to go my way. I'm not. I'm not going to be the answer man. You guys are going to make statements. I'm going to read those statements, and then I'll ask you questions about them. I'll try to get a conversation going. I will try to milk more information from you. You know, I think it'll make for great conversations, and I think we can have, you know, multiple things discussed in a given day. Should be interesting. But the show is going fine now. Everything's running. We're not getting kicked off anymore. It's operational, and I'm ecstatic about it. Now, maybe next week I'll actually put a shirt on. I mean, other than my t-shirt, you know, clean it up a little bit. Maybe I could brush my hair a little extra or something, or, you know, do something. I don't know. Yeah, I'm pretty wild today. I well, it's kind of warm in here today, you know. I probably should have thrown the hair in a ponytail today. No, I'm not prepared. But, you know, I'll work on it. My appearance, my presentation. I'm trying right now to come up with a show opening that I'm comfortable with, and winding down the show in a way that I'm comfortable with. I'm hoping to, you know, create a space where the chat room can actually unite, find common ground. I'm not going to run for political office. I'm not going to endorse any political candidates. I'm not going to try to manipulate people. I have no interest in doing that whatsoever. I think it's real interesting that they're chipping away at our free speech rights at the same time that I'm opening a chat room and trying to laud or encourage free speech. I think it's real interesting that our society in America is trying to tamper down free speech at the same time I'm trying to increase free speech. That contrast, yeah, it's interesting. I'm not going to stop. So, yeah, they can sue me if they want to, but that's why I got the LLC. Uh, they're limited in what they can do. Well, they right now they can sue me and take every penny this channel's ever made, except, oh yeah, this channel ain't making money, honey. There's no payday if you sue me. Good luck. Well, I set it up this way for a reason. I ain't making no mistakes. This is cruise control for me. I've been in front of the public eye and on camera most of my adult life. I know how to do this. Well, that's why I'm not letting you jump up here and get on camera with me. Right? I saw that on, who was it? The Don Lemon show. He had a tier in his memberships, and he was letting people come on and say whatever they want. Huge mistake. His liability is through the roof. Okay. Huge mistake. Yeah, you have to know how to speak in public. You cannot come on here and just shoot from the hip. It don't work that way. All right. Not in the year of litigation 2025. And you better cover your own ass. And my advice to Don Lemon is don't be putting these people on there. Okay. Not unless they have their own liability insurance and it can cover you. And media insurance ain't cheap. Let me tell you. I checked the prices. Well, it's not a extremely wide field of carriers either. Okay. You basically got Lloyd's of London, and that's about it. And yeah, liability wise, you got to be careful what you're doing nowadays. Well, this subject in general, I probably shouldn't be talking about. Okay. Might give somebody ideas. You never know. But it's, the show's about to start winding down here. So what I want to talk to you about is, what I touched on before. Live and let live. Take a breath. Don't try to control other people. Don't try to manipulate other people. Actually, be patient with one another. Be compassionate. Be understanding. Live and let live. I'm not picking and choosing for anybody, and I don't recommend that you do it either. I can speak from some experience. I've done some things that other people wanted to control. I used to be a gun owner and an avid hunter. Okay. I choose not to own guns now, but that's my decision as well as it was when I wanted to own guns. The truth of the matter is that when I had my perfect vision and I was a crack shot, I enjoyed hunting and target practice both. When my vision tapered off and I needed corrective lenses, I lost interest in shooting. It wasn't as much fun. I didn't care for being an average shot, right? Once you've excelled at something, not excelling is unacceptable. So you lose interest. You go in another direction. You find a different path. I don't know why people think guns are bad. Guns aren't bad. People are bad. People do bad things with guns. But a gun is a tool. It's just like right now, my computer's a tool. I can do bad things with my computer. I don't have to do bad things. If I do bad things with my computer, that is because of me. That is my choice, right? You can't control other people. You don't have a right to police other people. Let people be alone. Don't pick on someone that's transgender. Don't pick on any minorities. Don't pick on anybody. Be nice. Be kind. Be understanding. That's how I think that we should all be. Take a breath. Take a minute, right? Try to look at something from someone else's perspective. I think it's a sign of maturity, being able to recognize someone else's perspective on a particular issue. It's like in Europe, they drive on one side of the road. In America, we drive on the other side of the road. We don't have a right to force them to change. They don't have a right to force us to change. That's my point. Leave other people alone. Let them do what they want to do. It's not hurting you. It means nothing to you. It shouldn't, anyways. If you're trying to micromanage the world, good luck with that. You're not going to have any success that is worth measuring. It's just not going to happen. I don't care what politics you are. I don't care what religion you are. I don't care what race you are. I don't care what your sexual orientation is. Everyone is always going to be welcome in this chat room that I've created here. All of you. And I'm not going to let you disparage the people in the chat. If you need to lash out at someone, lash out at me. I can take it. Okay. I worked in the casino industry. I was either taking the customer's money or giving away the house's money all day, every day. Somebody was always pissed at me. I can take it. It's okay. You want to call me a jerk? Then I'm going to tell you, please go to the Patreon page and support Ghostly so that you can guarantee I'll be here for you to call me a jerk again next week. Okay? But I'm going to try and be protective of the people in the chat. They're all going to be entitled to their opinion in this room. Whether you agree with it or disagree, they got a right to state their opinion. As long as we stay within the community guidelines established by YouTube. Please, don't get me in trouble with YouTube. I just got the show on the air. Let's not get kicked off yet. Okay, let's try to postpone that for a decade or two. All right. No, just live and let live. Leave people alone. Let them do what they want to do. Let them be unique. Let them be themselves. And you be unique and you be yourself. Okay? It's my opinion that if you're always kind to everyone all of the time, that kindness will come back to you tenfold. The good guys in this country, the good guys on this planet, outnumber the bad guys by a lot. I know you can't tell that by watching the news, but I'm telling you, it's not all doom and gloom. There are a lot of good people out there. And these good people, yeah, they're dependable. You can rely on them. They're always going to be good. Okay? I'm not speaking for governments. I'm not speaking for one particular race. What I'm speaking for is the average guy. The average guy doesn't want to hurt anyone. He wants improvement in his life. He wants everyone to get along. War doesn't fix anything. It just creates more problems. That's not what we need. We don't need war. We don't need hardship. We don't need struggle and strife. What we need is compassion, unity, patience, understanding. Okay? Don't let the news stress you out. If you feel like you need to lash out, come online, get into our chat room, lash out at me. Okay? I can take it. It's all right. All right. With that said, let's end this today. I'm your host, Ghost Mostly. Thank you for being here. I do appreciate you. I appreciate the likes. I appreciate the subscriptions. I appreciate the views. These things matter to me. Okay? And I appreciate the heck out of you guys. I'll be here with this show, Afternoon Chat, presented by Ghost Mostly Media, LLC, every Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please come and join us. I'll see you tomorrow at 3. Be safe, be happy, be kind to one another, live and let live. Thanks for being here.